Well, thank you all so much for joining us. Now, there's a lot of year 10, 11, and 12 students here today, some of whom will have an idea of what they want to do after high school, but many of them might not know what they want to do. So you can give a one-word yes or no answer for this question. When you were at school, did you have a good idea of what you wanted to study or the career that you wanted?
No.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I thought I did, but no.
So, Gabriella, they say the average person changes their careers 5 to 7 times in their lifetime. You're now studying at Southern Cross University, but you've had experience in other industries. So, what has your past journey been and what led you to your current career path?
Okay, so a bit of a journey. I, in grade 12, didn't get the OP that I wanted to get into university. And back then it was sort of like, well, that's it. My journey with university is over. So I got a job as an office junior in a real estate office and spent 10 years working my way up to, or through all different positions in real estate. And then I was sort of at the peak of my career in real estate administration, managing 7 different offices across Brisbane and the admin teams within those. And yeah, that was my journey over the past.
So then how did you end up back at Southern Cross University?
Yeah, okay, so after 10 years in real estate, I had a child, so my family commitments changed. I realised that there was sort of a peak in my career. I wasn't going to surpass that, so I decided to look into my options to get into university. I did a bridging course to get in because I'd never done any certificates or diplomas. It was just life experience. And I got in after 1 semester into the Bachelor of Education that I wanted to do. And here I am now, almost finished, which is very exciting.
So how long has it been that you've been studying at Southern Cross now?
Yep. So it was a 4-year degree because it's a double degree, and it's taken me 5 years to finish it because of my family commitments as well.
So it's probably a bit of relief for people that are here to hear that your study choice straight out of school doesn't lock you in for life. Do you have any advice for students here today who aren't sure of what they want to do?
If you're not sure what you want to do, I'm not like the 10 years of experience that I had in real estate will help me in my career and my pathway going forward. Like, it's not redundant, but I definitely, if you're not too sure, be proactive about finding out what makes you tick, what it is that makes you feel joy, maybe what subjects you enjoy doing at school, and try to find an area where you're interested. So I was always passionate about helping people and teaching people how to do things, and that's why I fell into the pathway that I did in management in real estate, but it was actually working with children and helping children learn that I was most passionate about, and it took me a very long time to work that out. So I do wish I'd worked it out a bit sooner.
Ruan, I'm going to go over to you now. Now, you're doing commercial cookery at TAFE, Queensland. Were you always drawn to cooking and hospitality?
I think it's a bit of a difficult one. My family plays a big role in the background and the reason why I've chosen cookery as, a pathway and for life. My grandmothers, since I was a little boy, I always enjoyed cooking with them, baking, and up until the point where my one grandmother passed away, I kind of decided that maybe I should do this, to honor her. And ever since then, my passion is just every day it's developing, and there's something new that tickles my fancy, and that's basically the main reason why I am where I am today.
So what was was that the light bulb moment that made you decide you wanted to study?
Definitely one of them. I also watched a lot of cooking shows. MasterChef is the most common one, but a lot of cooking shows back in South Africa as well. I just told my parents one day when we were watching it that won't it be cool if I can actually be, on TV one day, and maybe that's my light bulb moment. I don't know.
So we might see you on MasterChef one day, do you think? Is that the goal?
Not MasterChef in particular, though.
All right, Jackson, I'm going to move over to you. Now, you're studying exercise science at Bond Uni. Can you tell us why you decided to study this degree?
Yeah, absolutely. So I have a really strong interest in the body and health, and also my own training. So as a sportsman, I suppose, through school and loving my sport and exercise, I wanted to combine that with my love for the human body and helping people, and it just seemed like a really natural fit. Yeah.
So it sounds like you always had a really strong pull towards exercise science. Since you've been at Bond, has there been any new opportunities that you've discovered?
Yeah, absolutely. So it just came with throwing myself into the university life, which is the best advice I can give to anyone, regardless of what course you choose. But I've had some really awesome practical and the practicum experiences. So internships, experience working with clients through the degree, and in doing that it sort of helped me refine my future pathway, because while I thought I wanted to go into exercise science and progress into physio, I sort of changed my mind since I started the degree, and now I'm thinking medicine. So it's just about throwing yourself into whatever you may choose, and then that'll help you decide, I think, whether you want to stick with it or whether you want to consider something completely different.
Amber, now I hear, as you said earlier, you were pretty set on what you wanted to study when you were at school, but then everything sort of changed overnight. What were you interested in and what changed your mind?
So I was actually interested in meteorology. Not really too sure now, it's been a few years, but I just, was really into the weather and everything. I put my heart and soul into it. It was completely ready. I'm very plan oriented. It's like one and done. I don't like change. It's this way or no way. So I was really into it, and I was pretty good at it in school, but my IT classes I really excelled at. And one day my teacher sat me down and was like, I think you should maybe switch path. You should definitely go for this. I think that you'd do better at it. And so I sat on it for 6 hours, went to sleep, woke up the next morning, and when I tell you that I went straight up to the principal's office and told them I needed to rewrite my whole plan, I was going into it, it was just kind of happened.
So now that you've found your path, what are you hoping to do once you graduate?
So once I graduate, I would really like to own my own software company. Bit ambitious, but yeah, that's completely everything that I've spent, the last 5 years on, and I'll probably spend the next 15 on as well.
Wonderful. Now, I've got some general questions to ask all of you. I'd love to know, what's the best thing your education provider has done to help prepare you for your future career? Prepare you for your future career. So we'll start with you. Yeah.
Okay. At Southern Cross University, I have found the support with assessment writing and that sort of thing really great. Just all of the tutors, it's quite small classes as well, so the lecturers and the tutors all know you by name, and they're really there to support you and help you, finish, really. They don't want to see you fail. They want you to reach your goals. So, yeah, it's been really supportive in that way.
Amber, what's your thoughts on Griffith?
Okay, so Griffith has just so many opportunities. It really is never ending. I am pretty sure there's every single day I'm getting an email from someone or somewhere asking me to join in or, start applying for different things that they have presenting themselves. That's the reason that I'm here today, actually. But yeah, it's actually really fantastic. I think that it's really made me a very opportunistic person. Over the last few months especially, I've really learned that, if you just are willing to have a leap of faith and you start, trusting yourself to be able to do things and you take those opportunities, they will present you with them, doors open every single day. And I think it's amazing the way that the uni really pushes that.
Ruan?
I must probably say the thing that I like about TAFE in general is they care about you as a person, whether it doesn't depend on your cultural background. They're very diverse when it comes to stuff like that. And in my study field, they started from the beginning. You don't really understand and realize at that stage why they're doing things that they do, but along the line, it actually starts making more and more sense why they do it the way they do it.
And last but not least, Jackson, Bond.
Yeah, Bond has been absolutely incredible for me, probably the best decision that I've made in my life so far. As well as the accelerated degree structure and small class sizes, I would say that probably the best thing about Bond is the industry-based learning that we get to do. So as I sort of mentioned earlier, the work that in my degree I get to do with clients and industry-based that you also get to do, say, in mooting for law or in working with businesses with a business degree. Those sort of opportunities, I think, are one of the best things that Bond provides. Yeah.
I'd also like to get all of your advice. So we've got a lot of students in the crowd. They might not know what they want to do when they finish school. What's your advice to them?
Yeah, so for me, as I said before, it would be proactive in finding out what makes you tick and your passions, I guess, and trying to find a career that aligns with something that actually makes you happy.
Imba?
One thing I definitely want to say to everybody is please be open to change. I know that it's scary, and as someone who was really against change for a very long time, it's definitely something that makes you a little bit anxious, but I think that it's so important. And another thing is that definitely be on the lookout for the doors that open, because a lot of the time we're so stressed and we're so worried about what's going on around us, we don't really see all the doors opening, we just see the doors closing. We see every application to a job or every application that we don't quite get into, and we think everything's over. But if you just look over the horizon a little bit, I promise you there is a door that's opening, and you just have to be brave enough to take it.
Very great advice. Ruan?
Don't rush it. And that's just advice that I got from my father and my mother ever since I can remember. Don't rush into anything unless you're really, really sure. Some of us may take a little bit more time than others. Don't feel obligated to go study straight after school just because, 80% of people do it. Just take your time. It's your future at the end of the day. And like they say, the world's your oyster.
I love that. Jackson?
I think just maybe building on that, just consider everything. So whether that's considering all the different unis or different degrees, just consider everything. And then even if you don't know exactly what you want to do coming out of today, maybe you find out something that you don't want to do. And that's a step in determining your future. So consider everything. And if you can figure out, fantastic. But if not, that's okay. Maybe you eliminate some. And yeah, be open to change. Absolutely.
Great. Well, do we have any questions from the audience to these guys? No? Well, you can see all of these students are going to be at their education providers booths if you do have any further questions. Thank you all so much for joining me. You did an amazing job and enjoy the rest of the day. Thank you.